Absolutely insane document. To be completely honest, Nostratate and Lumen Gentium are indefensible. You cannot defend worshiping the same God as Muslims, as I mean, you might be able to argue, oh, well, actually, maybe it's not saying what it seems to be saying about Hindus and Buddhists. But I mean, if that is the case, why are you using the capital G? Who do you typically use the capital G for? You would use the capital G for the one true God. So Amateur Knight says, Cleve, I was on Nick's stream when you were talking to Sam Shimon. I'm convinced there's nothing meaningful to Vatican II's language. You might as well say pantheists worship the same God too. So actually, Vatican II's language does kind of allude to that, according to Jay Dyer, of all people, who had a recent kind of informal call-in debate with Kevin from Since33AD. I actually want to play that real quick because there was a point that he made that I thought was actually pretty strong in the language that Vatican II has about Hindus in their relationship to God. He would argue that Vatican II actually posits that Hindus worship the same God as well. Let me share the screen real quick. I'm going to take this off the screen just for a moment, and then I'm going to pull up that video, and I'll just play a brief part of that because I thought this was interesting. Kind of conversation between Jay Dyer and Kevin from Since33AD. Let me go ahead and make that full screen. Sorry, kind of boomer tech moment here.
You read it.
In the meantime, I'll pull up the Vatican II citation.
You don't know what it says?
I don't want to butcher it.
It says in Hinduism, they value the moral life and worship God. Excuse me. That's the. Let me go back up. That's the Muslim comment. It says.
He's flipping through his notes. Hold on.
Let me pull it up.
He's got the actual document in front of him. The original. I was reading it in Latin.
Full of sticky notes, too.
Oh, yeah. He's got the big fat book with 5 million sticky notes in there looking like a Subway sandwich.
Okay, here it is. I'll read the whole section so you know what the context is.
Chop, chop.
It says, thus, in Hinduism, so we're talking about in the religion, men contemplate the divine mystery and express it through an exhaustible abundance of myths and through searching philosophical inquiry. They seek freedom from the anguish of our human condition, either through ascetic practices or profound meditation, or a flight to God with love and trust.
Is that the same thing it says about Muslims, that they worship the one true God?
Does it? What does it say about God there? What
that they fly?
Does it use the proper G there?
It does.
Proper noun.
Does that mean it's the one true God?
So which one is it?
Does that mean it's the one true God? I mean,
how many gods do you believe in? How many do you capitalize?
Well, the Hindus believe in many gods.
How many do you capitalize?
I mean, I only talk about one usually, but
how many do you capitalize?
You're falsely inferring there that because
how many do you capitalize?
I think you're falsely in capital.
So how many gods are there that you capitalize? Anybody? The ones that you believe in, right?
Right, but I think you're falsely assuming there that means that they worship the one true God.
Why is it capitalized, you liar?
I'm not lying, Jay.
Why is it capitalized?
I don't know. But I think you're falsely assuming.
You don't know.
I think you're falsely. You
don't know.
Well,
you don't know. Exactly.
Well, I mean, I can make a proper guess without jumping to conclusions that they worship the same God as Muslims or as Christians or as Abraham.
So you think Muslims and Christians do worship the same God?
Of course, that's what the document says, Jay.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So it's not what Tim Gordon said, right?
I'm not aware of anything. I don't follow Tim Gordon. I have no idea what.
Okay, right.
No, I really.
So how do Muslims and Christians worship the same God when Muslims don't acknowledge the Trinity?
Wait, but why are you changing topics? Let's stick to the Hindus.
So you don't want to go there?
No, I will.
You brought up Muslims. We're going to go to
We're still on Hindus. We haven't finished Hindus.
No, you brought them up because you just said you don't know why it's capital G. Now we're going to go to your other argument because you don't know. So tell me, how do Muslims worship the one true God when they don't believe in Christ or the Trinity?
Hold on, Jay. We're talking about Hindu.
All right, so this is what you guys do.
Jay,
You just said
Jay,
about
we
the
can,
Hindu
no,
text
Jay, we
you
can
don't
totally.
So he brings up the point that in Vatican II, it actually capitalizes the G for the God of the Hindus, implying that it's referencing the one true God. So I think that's kind of an interesting point about the documents within Vatican II, that it does actually refer to the Hindu God, which doesn't make any sense because they have multiple gods, but it says the God of Hinduism, right, with a capital G. Isn't that insane? I mean, if you're going to claim that your documents, that your ecumenical councils are infallible, you would think that you would at least have your punctuation, your capitalization correct. If you're going to refer to false gods, you would use a lowercase g. When referencing Hindus, it actually brings up the capital G, which I thought was a good point. A good point by Jay there. He's going to have a debate tomorrow with some Roman Catholic scholars, I guess. Him and Father Ananias are going to go debate some Roman Catholic scholars on whether or not Muslims have the same God as Christians. No offense to those scholars, but they're getting fed to lions.
Well, and I think there's an extra problem here if it is indeed making reference to the one true God by capitalizing the G. If you want to pull up the shared screen, I have that section from Vatican II pulled up on the Vatican website.
Yeah, hold on, let me.
Yeah. So, and this is from
So zoom in a little bit so we can see it.
Yeah,
it's super small.
Can you guys see it better?
Yeah, go ahead.
Great. So it says, religions, however, that are bound up with an advanced culture. I'm going to skip over here to thus in Hinduism. So it says, thus in Hinduism, men contemplate the divine mystery and express it through an inexhaustible abundance of myths and through searching philosophical inquiry. They seek freedom from the anguish of our human condition, either through ascetical practices or profound meditation or a flight to God. This part is very okay. So if this actually refers to them somehow taking this flight to God, and it's the same God as us, this is a problem because it says they do it how? With love and trust.
Yeah.
So is it saying that they have faith formed by love? Like they're trusting in God and they're loving him too?
Well, not only Hinduism, but also it says Buddhism right after that.
Yeah. It says Buddhism.
I mean, that's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane document. To be completely honest, Nostratate and Lumen Gentium are indefensible. You cannot defend worshiping the same God as Muslims, you might be able to argue, oh, well, actually, maybe it's not saying what it seems to be saying about Hindus and Buddhists. But I mean, if that is the case, why are you using the capital G? Who do you typically use the capital G for? You would use the capital G for the one true God, lowercase g for false gods. So kind of interesting point there by Jay. Yeah, Vatican II is nuts. All right, so yeah, Vatican II is absolutely insane. I would love to have a debate with Sam Shimon. I want to try to make that happen. I've been thinking about maybe doing like a call out stream, like, come on, Sam, like, will Sam debate, I know he's seen this stuff before because they've spoken about me on Albrecht's channel and other channels. So
they also when I was very, very early on in my channel, I interviewed James White, and they did an entire stream like, oh, they're gonna dunk on James White and what he said on my stream. And due to their uncharity and desire to dunk on him, made the most elementary mistakes possible and completely misunderstood what James was saying. And so I did a video debunking them, and then it was just crickets. They never like refer to me or my channel ever again after that. So that was an interesting interaction. Also, sadly, with a lot of unchristlike behavior and invectives and insulting of people's mothers and so on and so forth, which Sam tends to do a lot of in his streams. But yeah,
absolutely, uncharitable, not nuanced, not hyper qualified. Come on, all right. I'll debate Michael Lofton as well. I'll debate anybody. Come on to the channel. Let's debate. Michael Lofton, Voice of Reason, any of you guys. Just pop on the channel, pop on a live. I'll debate you guys. I'll debate you right now if you come on the show. Yeah, I should debate voice of reason. You know, he actually responded to somebody in a YouTube comment section saying he would love to debate me. I'm curious if he would take me up on that offer if I sent him something saying, hey, dude, you want to debate on Vatican II? Because it's indefensible. Cool. I don't think nobody would be able to defend that document, or it's tough.
Oh, and by the way,
oh God,
yeah, I was gonna say, in regards to the defense of Vatican II, something that is, I think, a mistake here, is people from the other side sometimes will try to say, well, look at, here, they pull on different, like, individual, often obscure, although not all the time, Protestant theologians, and they're like, aha, look, they also think Muslims worship the one true God. And it's like, yeah, but guess what we can just say about them? That they were wrong? Or that this was a mistake that they made? Unfortunately, Roman Catholic friends cannot say that about Vatican II, right? Because it's supposed to be infallible.
That is one benefit that the Eastern Orthodox have. They might have patriarchs that say crazy stuff. Archbishop Elpidophoros has said all sorts of crazy stuff. Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew has said all sorts of crazy stuff. But it's not dogma. It's not required. It's not within an ecumenical council. They're not bound to these ideas. You're going to find people in any faith tradition that make absolutely insane claims and statements. The big point against Roman Catholicism is this is stated within an ecumenical council.
Yeah,
this is in Vatican II. That's why it's a big deal. That's why the Immaculate Conception is a big deal, because they said this is one of the ex cathedra statements within a papal decree. You know, if it wasn't binding, it wouldn't matter. It'd just be some guy's opinion, right? But the reason that we push back on this is because it is binding.